Hi everyone, I'm Pat Prokop out here in the heavenly backyard garden, and it's early June and the garden now is in full bloom. And if you stick around to the end, I have a short music video that I think you'll enjoy of the heavenly backyard garden. It's only a minute and a half long. That's at the end of the video. What I want to talk about now is some of the targets I've been working on over the last couple of weeks, and most of these are in the southern sky. Well, not all of them. Two of them are in the north and two are in the southern sky. Okay, they're all over the place. Anyway, the targets I wanted to use are the Whirlpool Galaxy, the Globular Cluster M5, beautiful star cluster, the Trifid Nebula, and the Eagle Nebula. And within the Eagle Nebula, we find the pillars of creation, made famous by the Hubble Space Telescope. There it is over there. Their first image back in the 1990s that came out that just, for me, it just blew my mind when I saw that. I said, could I ever get anything like that with my system over here in the heavenly backyard garden? Anyway, I made some changes to the Celestron 11-inch EdgeHD telescope. First of all, I took off the corrector plate inside the greenhouse. I took the scope off the CGX mount and cleaned the lens inside and out. I don't know how it got dirty on the inside, but it was. There were some blemishes in the inside of the corrector plate, on the inside portion of the corrector plate. Anyway, I took it off, carefully cleaned it and so forth, and I marked it where I took it off and put it back on. And I put it back on the scope and then remounted the scope up on the CGX mount. Of course, since I took off the corrector plate, it's very important to recollimate the telescope. And it's important to have the telescope collimated. And in collimating the telescope itself, what you do is you take it out of focus. First of all, you take it away from focus, and you want to see this. The goal is to get a perfect donut, image-wise. And then after that, I take it all the way across focus back to the other side of the focus and see it if it's measured again. And sure enough, it was. And also, it's a good idea to have the telescope shooting as high up in the sky as possible, and also to keep the donut or the star itself that you're using kind of centered into the frame. And the star that I used was Arcturus, which is extremely bright. As a matter of fact, it was casting a shadow glow in the scope itself. Anyway, I got the scope collimated and I'm ready to go. Also, I changed the StarSense AutoGuider, not the scope, I changed its position. And I used a different bracket to put the scope on the top of the telescope itself so that it's balanced on the top instead of at the side. When I had it balanced on the side, when the telescope was tipped over this way, it was heavier on this side, and then when it was tipped on the other side, it was actually heavier, not as heavy. So it wasn't balanced. But now it's on the top and it's balanced very well. So I'm very happy about that. And you know, when you're using an f10 telescope with a focal length of 2,800 millimeters, it's very important to have great, well, not good guiding, great guiding, because everything is amplified when you have the long focal length. Now, the long focal lengths are ideal for planetary, and the planets are starting to come up in the eastern sky during the morning, or overnight hours after midnight, still after 1 o'clock in the morning in most cases. And it's going to be another month or two before they really start coming into view in my locations here at a reasonable hour. But the f10 telescope is also very good for galaxies, believe it or not, and for globular clusters, particularly globular clusters, and for other nebulosity objects such as the Trifid Nebula and also the Eagle Nebula that I'll be shooting. So let's take a look and see what happens with M51, that's the Whirlpool Galaxy, through the Celestron at f10, focal length 2,800 millimeters. Also, let's take a look at the Trifid Nebula. Actually, the Trifid Nebula I didn't take with this telescope here. A disclaimer, I took it with the Eon as I was setting up the camera while I was cleaning off the corrector plate here. But I had a clear night, and you got to take advantage of clear nights, right? Anyway, we're going to see that in a second. And the last one, of course, the Eagle Nebula and the pillars of creation. I got to tell you one thing right now, too. It's getting toasty out here. I just looked. It's 95 degrees Fahrenheit for all you metric fans. That's 35 degrees Celsius. And I know it's not as hot as over in Alpha Scorpii over there with Jason and Isaac in Arizona. But this is getting pretty hot for Savannah, Georgia. The only thing that's going for me right now is my humidity is not so high. So I can deal with this. Now later on this summer when it gets 95 and the humidity is up there, you know, the heat index will be 110, 115 degrees. And that's no fun. Right now the heat index is about the same as the temperature. So, you know, 95. I can deal with that. And the garden is dealing with it as long as I can keep it watered. Anyway, I have rambled on too much. Let's take a look at the images. Let's go to PixInsight and take a look. I mentioned it was hot out here, but I just noticed my camera is overheating, so I got to wrap this thing up real quickly. So let's go inside and cool off.
All right, let's begin with the visible spectrum of light, just to give you an idea what we're looking at with the filters. And obviously you got the red beginning at 700 nanometers and down to 600, then it goes into the yellow, orangish, then yellow, and then into the greens, all the way down to 500 nanometers, then into the blue, and then the ultraviolet over here below 400 nanometers. All right, that's the visible light. What about the spectrum? Looking at this one here, there you have the hydrogen alpha and the sulfur 2. You can see the sulfur 2 is in the deep red over here, and then the hydrogen alpha is over in here. More of the red, a little bit of touch of orange. Then you have nothing until you get to oxygen 3, and that's in the lower end of the green going into the blue. And then you have the hydrogen beta, which is deep into the blues, away from the green. So there you have those in the what's called the narrow band filters. Now what these Optolong filters are doing is breaking it down. So let's take a look at some of those. And if I can bring them up over here, let's take a look at the L Enhance. This is the L Enhance filter. This is one of my favorite. It just filters out basically the hydrogen alpha and the oxygen 3. So you're getting the green bluish light over here, and you're getting the reddish orange light over here. It's filtering out the sulfur, and it's filtering out most of the hydrogen beta and everything in the middle between the yellows and the green. It's filtering just about all of that out. All right, let's take a look at the other filters here. And we have the L Pro. Now the L Pro is really good for galaxies, I tell you, and star clusters, globular clusters. There you can see it allows a lot of the light in there, all the sulfur 2 and the hydrogen alpha. It's allowing some of the yellows and green light passing through as well, but trying to filtering out some of those frequencies where you have street lights and so forth, and city lights is being filtered out. And then it's allowing a lot of the oxygen 3 and hydrogen beta blue light to move in, and even some of the ultraviolet light coming in, which my camera can't sense, I don't think, anyway. But yeah, the L Pro filter is really good for those globular clusters and galaxies. Not so much for nebula, because a lot of this other light is moving in, and that's starting to pollute the light. Let's take a look at another one, Quad. The Quad Enhance filter, or just simply known as the L Quad. And you can see here, it is allowing a lot of, similar to the L Pro, but filtering out some of the middle portions of the L Pro. So it is allowing the hydrogen alpha and the sulfur 2 light to move on, pass on through. A little bit of the yellow-green light, but more so into the oxygen 3 and into the hydrogen beta. So you're getting a lot of that blue light coming on in. And the blue light has a tendency to bloat your stars when you see blue light coming out. All right, with that being said, let's look at some of the examples here. Going into PixInsight. There we go. First of all, the M51 with the L Pro. That's the combination of the two. I didn't want to do that yet. Well, we'll just leave it up there right now. This is the Pro right here. And let's look at the Enhance, Quad Enhance. That's the Quad. And there you can see a little bit more light coming in with the Quad Enhance, and then with the Pro. And then what I did is I just showed you prematurely there is that I combined these two to give you the view here. And this is, and then touched it up a little bit and so forth, and boosted it. But this is only about an hour and a half of data from the Celestron 10-inch at 2800 millimeters. And obviously the tracking was very, very good on this, the guiding. I did very well with this. 5-minute subs. I was using 5-minute subs with the StarSense AutoGuider. All right, let's look at the next one over here. Minimize this. This was the Globular Cluster M5. And I used 180 seconds on these because there was a lot of light coming in on that. And the other one here is the enhanced. Now you can see the quad versus the enhanced. The enhanced shows more of the colors, I think, even though more colors are coming in on the quad. Let's just zoom in on that a little bit and bring it over to here. Then let's bring it up, same view over here. And yeah, you can see about the same. It seems like the enhanced has a little bit more blue colors and the yellows going with it. But I can see the golds over here too. So let's take a look at the combining of these two. I combined these two in PixInsight using the tools right over here in the scripts and a toolbox. And you got an image toolbox. Oh, there you are. You have this combined images. You can just pick the two images and combine them together. It does a pretty good job. And here it is right here. That's the combination of the two. And yeah, that came out pretty nice. That's what the, hello, get off my screen. That's the Celestron 11-inch at f10 or 2800 millimeters. That's not a bad view of M5. A lot of the globular clusters, people have a tendency to ignore them or to just not, want to shoot those. They are some great targets. But if you have a short focal length telescope or, an f5 or an f7, these are tiny. They're very tiny. But in the Celestron 11-inch at f10, they're quite large. As you can see, this is the, well, that's not too bad. Look at that. But, of course, now I pass these through, all the filters through PixInsight, including blur exterminator, noise exterminator, star exterminator, and so forth. And so not so much star exterminator for this one, but all right, let's go on. I'm rambling. Now this is the one I took with the Eon, the Orion Eon telescope. It's a 130 millimeter objective lens, triplet. And it has a focal length of 910 millimeters. So much shorter, more than half the distance from the Celestron 2800. But there's the Trifid Nebula. I call it Trifid. Some say Trifid. It's three. That's tri. Anyway, this is with the enhanced filter here. And that thing is, there it is with the quad enhanced. And notice the quad enhanced allows more of that extra blue light in the hydrogen beta area, and you can see how it bloated those stars when you look at it like that way versus the enhanced, which filters out that blue light, particularly in the H beta realm. Let's zoom in on this a little bit here, this way. Let's just go over here. You got a little globular cluster almost, not a globular cluster, but a cluster of stars over here. Let's just show this on the, that's the quad enhanced. Let's go over into the same view with the enhanced. You can see the stars are much less bloated here. So what I did on this image here, I took the image on each one, and I did a star extraction with star exterminator, and with that I enhanced the nebulosity basically with the two. I added the two together, and then just used the stars from the enhance, and I added those together in image combination. That's what I got right over here. That's a pretty nice image, showing the Trifid Nebula. The blues, that's with the hydrogen alpha and the, the hydrogen beta. This is the hydrogen alpha coming in here in the sulfur over here. This is the oxygen 3 and the hydrogen beta. Giving the blue lights out there. So yeah, this came out pretty nice. And notice how round the stars are. Of course, that's with the Eon, so that's a little bit easier to track on this one. All right. Let's go back to the Celestron, and let's go to the M16. Here's the raw image, not processed at all. This is the way it came in. This is a 2-hour image and 5-minute exposures. And this is the quad. This is the enhanced, and this is the quad here. And the enhanced, the stars are a little bit tighter. As you can see in the quad, they're more bloated. So I did the same thing after I did some processing and so forth. I used the stars from the enhanced, and then of course I did the blur exterminator on these as well, and put them all together. Let's see what we have over here. There is the nebulosity with the stars removed when I combined the two images together, and there it is, enhanced somewhat, bringing out the pillars of creation. And let's just go in on that, see how that looks. Pillars of creation there on the combined images, and there it is before I enhanced it. These are the same images. I just passed through the filters on PixInsight. All right, and then let's look at this one here. That's the stars that I used. I took out from the enhanced view and laid them over into this view over here. And then this was the process over here. Now, that's pretty good. And there's the Eagle Nebula itself, and there's the pillars of creation within the Eagle Nebula. I also wanted to see if I can bring out the Eagle a little bit more. I'm not the Eagle, the pillars a little bit more. And I might have overdone it over here. Let's see, is it this one here? No, that's the stars. It's this one right here. Yeah, perhaps I went a little bit too far, but I was going after the pillars. Let's zoom in on the pillars, and they're showing up pretty good. I don't know which one is better. I think this one over here is the better one, in my opinion. But you can see the pillars more here in comparison to that picture from the Hubble Space Telescope. So here's the actual picture from the Hubble Space Telescope back in 1995, the famous picture, one of the first pictures from the Hubble, and it used the narrowband, where the pictures I just showed you on mine is from the broadband. Anyway, this is the sulfur for red, the hydrogen alpha for the green light filter or gun, and then the oxygen 3 for the blue, and combine them together to get this image right here. So with that being said, on my images here, I took these with the Optolong with a one-shot color camera. My next goal is and I have the camera set up and everything, the telescope set up with the monochrome camera. So I'm going to shoot for the pillars of creation in narrowband as the sky clears. And it's clear now, so hopefully it'll be clear tonight. I'll be getting images of that over the next couple of nights before the moon starts causing issues. Right now, though, the moon is out of the picture. Here we are, June 7th. The moon is out of the picture for the next week or so in this area of the sky. So, all right, let's go back outside. It's hot outside. Let's go back outside.
I got to tell you, that M16, the Pillars of Creation, that image came out really good. Well, the other images came out great as well, but I'm really impressed with the Pillars of Creation. Now, did I overdo it with the color on that one frame? I don't know. I was just trying to bring out the pillars, and the other colors kind of got amplified a little bit. Anyway, what do you think? Give me your comments below what do you think? And if you like this video, it's important if you watch any of the YouTube videos, particularly the astronomy videos, all my friends in astronomy, hit the like button. It's very important for that algorithm to hit the like button. Also, if you have comments, leave your comments. And if you like to help support my channel, you don't have to. I'm happy if you're just watching and you hit the like button. But if you would like to support my channel, you could join my Patreon page, or you can subscribe to this channel. And Even on a hot day like today, I don't have my cup with me, but I love my coffee, and you can always buy me a cup of coffee. $2 a cup, that's not a bad bargain at all. Anyway, I want to thank you for watching. Now, a lot of these great nebulosity objects, or nebulae, are coming into view, and you got the Swan Nebula, the Crescent Nebula, of course the Eagle Nebula, all kinds of nebula, the Trifid, the Lagoon Nebula, I shot that last couple of weeks ago, all coming into view now in the southern sky. Now the further north you are, well, you got two problems in the north. Obviously you got no astronomical dark, or very little astronomical dark. I get about 7 hours of astronomical dark in June here in Savannah. I'm at 32 degrees north latitude. Anyway, and also, you know, you have clouds, but these targets are in the southern sky, so you're looking through a lot of atmosphere to get these targets. We're a little bit higher in my sky here, but still quite low, and it just skims the top of those trees over there, so I'm just barely able to get the view. That's why I have the telescope over here, so I can get through that little opening there and get those southern targets. Anyway, thanks for watching, and remember, the heavens are just filled with majestic wonders, all in a sky near you, and you can see them right in your own backyard. So unless you need rain, clear skies, everyone.